Today in the BrickLab, we're going to be taking a look at a custom Teenage Groot minifigure from the Infinity War. So, rumor has it we'll be getting a Teenage Groot minifigure in the upcoming Avengers Infinity War sets, but unfortunately those sets aren't going to be out for a while. So, if you don't want to wait, or if you just want to have a stand-in minifigure replacement until those sets actually do release, then this tutorial is the one for you. We'll start at the ground and work our way up with this custom Teenage Groot minifigure. So when it comes to minifigure legs, it turns out there really aren't that many reddish-brown pairs that come with printing that looks good enough to pass for a Teenage Groot minifigure. I mean, we do have these legs from the Coco minifigure from the Ninjago movie collectible minifigure line. They are great except for the hips, which as you can see here feature hints of the sand green jacket printing and gold buttons here. If you're not opposed to taking apart minifigure legs, what I'd recommend is just removing the hips and replacing them with just standard brown hips. That would probably be the best for the minifigure. I'm just going to leave them the way they are as is for the rest of this build tutorial though. Of course, feel free to modify these parts as you see fit. So I'm actually going to switch back to the regular standard reddish brown legs for the rest of the build tutorial. If you want to use those legs, be my guest, but I'm not going to. Alright, so starting out with the torsos, thankfully we have a lot more choices in this category. Like this torso from the minifigure series 6 Minotaur. It does have some fur printing, which looks a bit odd, but you could always pass that off as some sort of bark or something. Then, moving on, we also have the square foot torso from Collectible Minifigure Series 14. I'm not sure if that has any printing on the torso, it looks pretty plain to me, but it would probably be okay. Then also we have this zombie minifigure torso from the Pirates of the Caribbean, the early Pirates of the Caribbean sets. It looks pretty good overall. I'm not really a fan of the gray belt, since as far as I know, Groot didn't really wear belts, and that kind of sticks out. But hey, if you like it, stick with it. You could also modify the Man-Bat torso from the LEGO Batman line. You could always just remove those winged arms and replace them with standard minifigure arms. That one looks pretty good. Again, I don't really recommend tearing apart your minifigure's torsos and legs, but if that's the route you wish to go, so be it. It's your minifigure after all. And also, we have my favorite option here, which is the Jawa torso from LEGO Star Wars. It does have the belts again, but I really like it, and the ribbed printing on the torso actually kind of makes it look like tree bark. So, out of all the choices we have, I feel like that's my favorite option. Of course, if none of these options are for you, well, Baby Groot did wear a Ravager's jacket, and so if you'd like, you can always just give him the Star-Lord torso from the Mighty Micro sets that came out earlier this year. Just switch the flesh-colored hands out for reddish-brown hands, and you'll be good to go in that regard. So when it comes to heads, my favorite choice is this War Machine head from the Iron Man Extremis Seaport Battle set from 2013. It's suitably Groot-like and grim on the front, and then on the back there's also this enraged expression here. If you'd prefer something a little more cheerful, there's also this cyborg head from the LEGO Dimensions Fun Pack, which has this happy expression on front and this enraged expression on back. Although, to be honest, Teenage Groot, with all his raging hormones, would probably have a lot of anger here going on, so that's probably the one for you. Of course, if you don't like that, you can always use the Finn head from LEGO Star Wars, or there are probably a whole bunch of other reddish-brown heads. I'm sure the Bespin Guard head from that old Slave 1 set would probably work just as well. Does Groot smile like that? Probably not. So when it comes to hair pieces, we have several options. Pretty much any reddish-brown spiked hair piece, or even dark brown hair piece will do. I'm starting out with this one from the Spy from Minifigure Series 6. It is dark reddish-brown and doesn't really fit in well color-wise with the rest of the color scheme, but it doesn't look awful. Then also we have some Kai hair pieces. They're nice and spiked, but they are dark brown, which again doesn't really fit in that well. This is from the standard Kai minifigure from the old Ninjago sets. It's not really my favorite design. And then we also have this Kai hair piece from the LEGO Ninjago movie line. It actually looks pretty good, and I would use it if it wasn't in dark reddish brown. If it was just reddish brown, that would be a whole lot better. Then also, lastly, and my favorite, we have this piece here from both the Series 6 Sleepyhead minifigure and the Detroit Steel Strike set. It's reddish brown, which means it matches in with the rest of the minifigure, and it also has that spike design that Groot has on the top of his head. That's my favorite design, and that's the one I'll be sticking with. So Groot is apparently able to grow vines from his arms, probably legs as well. So as an added bonus, we can also give him these spiny vine thingies for him to hold on to, maybe use as weapons. Although if he's in attack mode, we should probably switch his face around, duh. Wow, that looks pretty scary actually. I bet even the Hulk's afraid of that. Although, who says he has to stick with attack vines? Why can't he grow maybe something like attack swords? Well, that probably isn't fitting in it with official canon, so I'm probably just gonna stick with vines. I mean, I'm not complaining if you use swords, but if I leave him this way, then somebody's going to comment below and be like, Groot actually isn't able to do that. And I'll be like, who cares? It's my minifigure. I'll do whatever I want, punk. Well, now that I probably just insulted half the audience, I should probably go ahead and end the video now. So if you enjoyed it, please feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all that other good stuff. If you want more videos like it, please feel free to check out my channel for more great content, better content than this, certainly. And if you want more of my nonsense, please feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SamsBrickLab. Well, the fun never stops, does it? It does now, because this video is ending.